Biden admin plans to give $450,000 per person to illegal alien families separated at border under Trump.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah, so welcome to America, land of the free, home of the brave. Step right over here to get your $500,000, and then we'll go ahead and usher you into the country where you can have more money than many people are going to be making in 10 years. Good job. This is freaking ridiculous. Now, I didn't hear a whole lot about this on American news. I did not hear much about this at all, really. And the thing is, my wife was watching the news from her country, and she saw this. And she is very livid about it because it's like, I came here as an immigrant, and why am I not getting $450,000? Why the hell are we paying people who come here illegally to come here? Period. Ever. You want to get money for coming here illegally and you're separated from your family? Okay, here's your 450 pennies. Good luck. Go buy a taco at the local taco stand, and then you can head back home. Anyway, I am the Anti-Woke Warrior. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I do appreciate everybody supporting my work. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Click that notification bell for updates. And let's get into this article. The White House is engaged in talks to allocate more than $1 billion for illegal immigrants who were separated from their families during the Trump administration, which could result in some people who broke the law receiving as much as $450,000 per person, according to a stunning report. Okay, well, that's not as bad. Not everybody's getting $450,000. Only some people. The Wall Street Journal broke the story Thursday, noting that the Justice Department, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Department of Homeland Security are floating the idea of the payouts as a way to settle lawsuits which accuse the federal government of inflicting distress on parents and their children. The federal government did not inflict this stress on their children. This is who did it. This right here is who did it.
Not every family is getting separated. Some are, some aren't. It depends on the circumstances. If you have a criminal history, for instance, just a couple days ago, we caught a guy coming across with his 5-year-old daughter. And we had to separate that family. Reason being, he had a criminal conviction and he was subject to prosecution. He had a criminal conviction for rape here in the United States. So, I mean, we obviously we wouldn't want that guy walking free, but we had to separate that family.
Sure. And what happens to his daughter?
Over that one.
Sure. No. And I think that yes, if you're a criminal, go ahead. Go ahead. What happens to the little girl?
Yeah, she's gonna get. She gets placed in a center until they can find some family that they can place her with, whether it's here in the United States or back in her home country. And another thing that we look at is we get all the time, daily, that people are claiming to be family units and they're not. And that's very dangerous for these kids. If we don't find those, I mean, what can come of those kids once this adult doesn't have the need for this child anymore?
Sure, and I know some children are used as mules, are they not? Some children, Chris, are used as mules. Some of this is nefarious. It's not all just a family. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Some of these children are used like that, and it's a shame. And I think the other thing that needs to be looked at here is we do have a lot of unaccompanied children coming over, and the fact remains is the parents are already here in the United States, and they're sending for these kids, and these kids are traveling solo across 2 or 3 countries, and when they get here, they're reunited with the families. And to me, that's mind-blowing because you can't do that as a United States citizen. You can't send your 5-year-old kid to ride on top of a train through 3 states, and when they get there, they're coming back to you. You'd get prosecuted. Yet when it comes to illegal families, we put on the kid gloves with them, and we don't look out for the best interest of this child, and that's another thing that needs to be changed.
See, it's the parents of these people bringing their children with them. Now, I understand you don't want to leave your children behind and make this journey. You want everybody to have a better life. But does it sound like a good idea to wander through the desert with your children? Wander thousands of miles through the desert with your children? Or is it a better idea to maybe leave your children with a family member, wander through the desert yourself, seek asylum here in this country, and then send for your children? That seems like a more reasonable idea to me. And I think what should happen at the end of that journey is you come all the way up here to America, you fail miserably, and you have to walk all the way back to your children. Not every affected migrant family would receive the large payout, per the report, which cited people close to discussions surrounding the payments. Most of the families that crossed the border illegally from Mexico to seek asylum in the U.S. included 1 parent and 1 child, the journal reported. Many families would likely get smaller payouts depending on their circumstances. The journal also reported that during a conference call discussion about the proposed payouts, the DHS lawyer complained that non-citizens who entered the country illegally could be paid more than American victims of September 11th, 2001 terror attacks.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
This is a lot of money. $450,000 is a ton of money, especially to get that in one chunk. I think about all the things I could do if I had that much money. This channel would definitely be different for sure if I had that much money. Other people said senior departmental officials were in alignment on the amount and disputed the 9/11 comparison, given that the U.S. government hadn't been responsible for the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. The journal reported the U.S. government is not responsible for these children being separated at the border. That falls onto somebody else. Here, let's watch this and see.
Why should you ever make light of these children being ripped from their parents, period?
Well, you look at it this way. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think everybody understands what's actually happening down here. You have a lot of these kids that are coming here and put through terrible, terrible situations by their parents. They are brought over in extremely dangerous conditions in an extremely dangerous terrain, and all this can be avoided if they just go through the port of entry. There would be no crime committed by them, and they wouldn't get separated. Why they don't do this is beyond me, but this problem is very easily solved, at least on the short-term basis, by going through the port of entry. If they choose to go through the river, they're committing a crime just like anyone else. They're subject to arrest, and we all know when you get arrested, you don't get to stay with your family. It's just the sad reality of life.
A number of prominent conservative lawmakers slammed the Biden administration over the report that some illegal immigrants would receive reparation payments amid the ongoing border crisis. The border crisis could be solved in a week, very, very easily. We got to do what Hungary does. Problem resolved overnight, even if we started doing that. Oh my goodness, people would complain, you can't treat people like that. It's not right. Why are they allowed to mistreat me? Do you think that me living here in Southern California and having to deal with Hispanic people has been a walk in the park? No. I have to deal with their culture coming to me and saying, you're bad because you're white. How is that true? It has absolutely nothing to do with my race if I'm bad. Nothing. Republican Rep. Andy Biggs of Arizona was among them. Biggs called the report payout unfathomable. Check out my statement regarding reports that the Biden admin intends to offer certain illegal aliens up to $450,000 each, potentially costing taxpayers more than $1 billion. Congressman Andy Biggs. In 2018, President Trump cracked down on illegal immigration by enforcing the law and prosecuting individuals who cross the border illegally. Today, during the worst border crisis in our nation's history, President Biden wants to reward those same illegal aliens with an obscene amount of money and invite them to remain in the United States. This is unfathomable. President Biden and his administration are going out of their way to exacerbate the humanitarian and national security crisis at our southern border, placing American communities and our nation's sovereignty at risk. It's time for these so-called government leaders to wake up and realize that their oath is to uphold the U.S. Constitution and to protect the interests of the American people. It's also to defend the borders. You left that part out there, Mr. Biggs. Republican Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas also slammed the reported proposal. It's unthinkable to pay a burglar who broke into your home for the psychological trauma they endured during the crime. Yet Biden admin wants to reward migrants who illegally entered the country with up to $450,000 each for just that reason. Insanity, he tweeted. Yeah, it's freaking insane. What the hell is wrong with this country? What the hell is wrong with Joe Biden? Let's go, Brandon. And we need to impeach this guy right now. It's ridiculous. Other GOP lawmakers weighed in. Dan Crenshaw. Biden wants to pay illegal immigrants $450,000 for their hardship while breaking our laws. For perspective, if a service member is killed in action, their next of kin gets an insurance payout of $400,000. Let that sink in. So we recruit men to go off and men and women go off and fight in our wars for us so that the fat cats can get fatter in this country. And if they happen to die, there's a payout of $400,000. That's all. Whereas people just wandering through the desert deciding that they want to be here because they deserve it get $450,000 coming here illegally. Ronnie Jackson, I can't believe Biden wants to pay illegals who were allegedly separated at the border $450,000. We're rewarding people who've broken the law. They shouldn't be rewarded. They should be deported. This is insane. Yes, they should be. What they should get. Okay, this is what they should get. I'm going to give them their $450,000. They should get a plane trip right back to their home country and 450,000 swift kicks in the ass as they're being kicked off the plane. That ought to teach them a lesson not to come here. Lauren Boebert says Biden is going to pay illegal aliens $450,000 a person. America last sucks. Yep, America last does suck. Ken Buck. Joe Biden wants to raise your taxes but give $450,000 to illegal immigrants. Biden is putting America last. Yeah, he is. Why did people not see this? I didn't vote for the guy because I knew he was going to put America last.
A white man's culture. It's got to change. It's got to change.
Each migrant family included in the proposed statement could stand to receive nearly $1 million. An estimated 940 families have initiated lawsuits relating to separations between 2017 and 2018 during former President Donald Trump's zero-tolerance policy. The Hill reported many of the lawsuits were initiated by the American Civil Liberties Union. The ACLU is an evil organization. They are not for civil liberties. And besides which, these people who are coming here illegally should not have civil liberties because they're not citizens of the United States. They should have human rights. That's it. That's as far as it goes. You get human rights. That involves us kicking you out of the country. We're not allowed to beat you in the process, but hey, kicking you out of the country. The ACLU in January issued a statement on the issues days before President Joe Biden was inaugurated. The barbaric family separation practice was immoral and illegal at a minimum. Justice Department lawyers should have known the latter. It was not illegal, and it actually is not immoral. Because I'm sorry, you make that sacrifice. If I were to walk into a different country with my family in tow, do you think that I would not be separated immediately? Maybe I wouldn't be, but especially if I had children, I think that I should be. Why is that unreasonable to expect? Go, okay, well, I'm here with these kids. Oh, we got to take those kids from you because I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing to those kids. This new report shows just how far the Trump administration was willing to go to destroy these families. Just when you think the Donald Trump administration can't sink any lower, it does. ACLU attorney Lee Gallant said, Lee Gallant, you are an a-hole. The Biden-Harris administration will inherit the legacy of family separation, and we don't doubt that more horrific details will continue to emerge. We need them to act with urgency. Every day without action makes it harder to find and reunite families, Gallant added. Wah. Don't separate your families. It's not the United States who's doing this. It's these people coming here illegally that are doing it. Gallant concluded that migrant families which were separated after illegally crossing into the U.S. were owed citizenship and resources. Nope, they're not owed anything. They're owed a swift kick in the pants as they're shipped back across the border. Settlement negotiations between the federal government and migrant families are ongoing, but might be resolved in November per the Journal. With a record-breaking number of illegal migrants now crossing into the country monthly, it isn't likely that news of the report will act as a deterrent for those who intend to take advantage of the Biden administration's negligent and chaotic approach to enforcing immigration law. The message from Biden White House amid a year of immigration crisis, if the report is accurate, seems to be that breaking the law can pay as long as you're not an American citizen. Yes, exactly. Don't be an American because you're not going to get what you need out of this country. But hey, being illegal, you can get all this you want. Okay, we got a notice down here. Look at this. Due to threatened demonetization, we have temporarily removed commenting while we build a long-term commenting solution that allow you to voice your opinion freely and allows us to continue to publish the news fearlessly and cover topics that you care about. Wow, they got threats of demonetization on this article just because people were commenting on it. Insane. Now you may have think that I was waffling in this one where I was saying like, oh, they have human rights, so you can't beat them. But then I'm saying things like we should do like what Hungary did, and Hungary didn't actually harm anybody crossing the border illegally that I'm aware of. They threatened harm on them. And then I say giving people a swift kick in the pants. Okay, first off, that's not really going to do any good. And second off, if you just give him one kick in the pants, it's probably not going to cause him any harm, maybe a bruise. So, yeah, no, we shouldn't be hurting people, but we got to do something to. There's a duality within me going, okay, we shouldn't be hurting people, but we have to lock down this border. We have to stop this border crisis immediately. And the way to do that is through violence. Really, I mean, that's the way to do it. If you want to resolve this issue, if people come here and then bad things happen to them, problem solved immediately. Well, let's take a look at some of this video here. This is a video that I showed a couple clips from earlier. We're not going to look at the whole thing. We're just going to look at a couple more clips just to kind of give you a sense of what's actually happening at the border and how evil these border agents are and these laws are that the poor foreigners are coming and running into. Oh no! But this video is from CNN. You know, the Church of the Woke. So you can't say it's a bad thing there. And it's about it features a where is he at here? He's Chris Cabrera. So he's a Hispanic man living in the United States who is a border agent. So you think he's like, oh, I want to get them damn brownies coming across the border. So I don't think so. No, we also have a female host here who's trying to get him. She's trying to get him to be like, no, you guys are all bad. And he's like, no, we're not being bad here. This is the reality on the ground. This video, unfortunately, only has 1,076,000 views. It has only 3,400 upvotes and 1,500 downvotes, which tells me a lot of the woke have seen this. Out of that percentage of people voting on it, a lot of them are woke. So I'll leave a link to this video down in the comment section. You can check it out in its entirety, but I'm going to show you a couple clips right now so that will help with my point of view in this video. So enjoy those.
You assure everyone watching that you and your Border Patrol colleagues are treating these children humanely.
I can tell you with absolute certainty that they're being treated humanely. Most of our agents are parents. I've seen guys, and I've done it myself. You give your last bottle of water to a kid. You'll take a toy out of your car to give to one of these kids because you know the situation they're in. You know, agents are very sympathetic. We're human. We're fathers. We have families. We do a lot for the communities here. Whether or not a camera is involved, our agents are very involved, and nobody saves more lives along the southwestern border than the U.S. Border Patrol. And I can tell you for a fact, one of the worst things that you would ever have to do is have to pull the body of a young kid out of the river because they were crossing and they just didn't make it. So something needs to change so we can avoid some of these tragedies that happen. Granted, having these kids in detention centers, obviously it's not ideal, but it's far better than the alternative of a lot of these kids not making it. Right now we have this beacon of we'll leave the light on for you. You come across illegally and we'll let you into the country. And if you guys have seen some of the stuff that we've seen down here, you would understand just how important it is to have a tough stance to divert people from coming here. When you see a 12-year-old girl with a Plan B pill or with their parents put her on birth control because they know that's getting violated as part of the journey, that's just a terrible way to live. When you see a 4-year-old girl traveling completely alone with just her parents' phone number written across her shirt. I mean, come on now, you know, something needs to be done. We had a 9-year-old boy last year have a heat stroke and die in front of us with no family around. And that's because we're allowing people to continue to take advantage of this system. And let's be honest here, if we want this law changed, then we need to, that's on Congress. That's on nobody else but Congress. They need to come in there, they need to get to work, and they need to change this law. Until then, us as Border Patrol agents, we have a duty to enforce these laws, and we'll continue to do it until they change this law, and hopefully they will.
Now, before I go, I want to mention that if you watched my last video, I said I had a subject matter all ready to go, and I was going to talk about it. Well, that is not this video either. Last week, I had 20 video ideas dropped in my lap, and I'm like, I have to talk about some of this stuff because it's just so crazy. I should have that video out this week, probably Friday. It has to do with Europe, so if you see a video up from me that has to do with crazy stuff happening in Europe, crazy woke stuff happening in Europe, then you know that's the one I was talking about, I was referring to. But that's all I got for this time. Be sure to drop a like on the video before you head out. It only takes a second. Leave your thoughts and comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.